Hogwarts Legacy remains a pretty solid open-world RPG and by far the best representation of Hogwarts and its surrounding areas, since the movies brought them to life. However, while there are plenty of amazing things to love about Hogwarts Legacy, it absolutely isn't without its flaws. From a lackluster story to a poor implementation of the schoolsim element so many fans had wanted to see, Hogwarts Legacy has a myriad of faults that a sequel could and absolutely should address. A sequel can finally right Hogwarts Legacy's biggest issue and not only give fans what they want, but actually deliver a satisfying experience that can be replayed time and time again. However, while many may expect a Hogwarts Legacy sequel to resolve these problems by going bigger and offering a bolder experience, I feel like what it needs is to scale down. In fact, Hogwarts Legacy 2 will be a far superior experience if it ditches all the apocalyptic dramatics and simply relaxes, even if just a little. Hogwarts Legacy's story was the weakest aspect. By far the worst part of replaying Hogwarts Legacy is having to sit through its story all over again. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot I actually like about the game's core narrative, including a handful of its characters, namely Poppy and Natsai, as well as its strong introduction, even despite its insistence that Victor Rookwood and Ranrock are genuinely interesting villains, or HL's dramatic yet consequence-free ending. I simply cannot find it within me to care about what is happening. That is largely due to the fact that we see Ranrock only a handful of times, and Victor Rookwood even less. It is because, once again, we find ourselves in a world-ending event surrounding Hogwarts, when all I want is to chill out, attend class, and make friends. It's also because I'm sick of being the chosen one in games that simply don't need it. Hogwarts Legacy 2 needs a boring story. One would assume, then, that the sequel should throw this lackluster form of storytelling among the features HL2 should abandon. The easy solution would be to go bigger, see characters return, flesh them out more, create a more compelling villain, and raise the stakes. Perhaps it could even make better use of Hogwarts Legacy's final choices, which, thus far, have amounted to nothing. This is, indeed, a good approach and one that would undoubtedly result in an interesting and enjoyable game. However, I believe there is a far better path for Avalanche Software to take. Hogwarts Legacy 2 doesn't really need a story, at least a traditional one. The best parts of Hogwarts Legacy were attending classes, taming creatures, doing companion quests, and exploring Hogwarts. The sequel should absolutely lean more into those aspects, and less into the overarching narrative. In theory, Hogwarts Legacy 2 would actually benefit from being more boring, at least with its narrative. A cozier, more character-driven plot about being a student at Hogwarts has more potential than the world-ending narrative told in Hogwarts Legacy, a story that more reflects Rockstar's masterpiece Bully, wherein you befriend a student who slowly reveals themselves to be more evil than you'd first realized. Could be an interesting twist on the formula. Ostensibly, a sequel could deepen the ideas explored in Hogwarts Legacy's best questline revolving around Sebastian to deliver a more personal and meaningful plot. Some may prefer a dramatic and high-stakes story, but frankly, battling a great evil has always been my least favorite part of the Harry Potter series and its spin-offs, and I'm ready to focus on being a student. Hogwarts Legacy 2 should focus on gameplay, not narrative. I have always asserted that Hogwarts Legacy should have been, first and foremost, a role-playing heavy school sim in which you get to live out the fantasy of studying at Hogwarts. It always felt bizarre to me that Avalanche Software had put so much effort into creating this incredible version of Hogwarts, but had the player do absolutely nothing in it. For Hogwarts Legacy to succeed, at least in my eyes, it needs to completely break its formula and become more like Persona 5 or similar school-based games. By simplifying its narrative and focusing on the students of Hogwarts, Avalanche Software will have greater freedom to explore these role-playing elements. At the very least, it can prioritize improving its core gameplay loop and characters while implementing the features fans had hoped to see, like mini-games. Hogwarts Legacy doesn't need an epic story in the same way the first Harry Potter book didn't. It should start simple and build to an epic finale in a later game. That is the only way to sustain a series, and Hogwarts Legacy, despite its faults, has the potential for a lengthy series